Hey everyone, my name is David Kosciusko and I'm here because Ty asked me to show you guys how I've sold over $1.5 million worth of phones and electronics on eBay over the last 5 years. So I ran into Ty about 3 years ago. Ty helped me grow my business a lot. Now I own actually a chain of local cell phone repair shops called Buy, Sell, Fix. I have 3 local stores, and now I got a YouTube channel with over 22,000 subscribers where I've taught now hundreds of people how to flip used phones and electronics on eBay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why this is a good business to get into right now, especially if you're looking for a business to start on the side. This is a perfect beginner business, or someone that's currently working a job right now that wants to start off slowly and do something on the side. This is great, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But first, let me just show you some of the benefits of doing phone flipping. And here's my eBay account. For the last 31 days, we're at $26,774 in sales. As you can see, this is July 16th. I don't know if we have a thing on the computer that shows the date here, but today I believe is the 19th of July at the moment of shooting this. And here's some of the profit margin, because you're thinking that's great, all the sales and stuff, but how much money do we make on the phone? So here's why this is a really great business to get started in as a first business, because if we look here, let's look at this first phone. It's an iPhone 6S Plus, right? And we just sold this looks like yesterday. It's $229.95, right? Now we only paid 70 bucks for that. So we're looking at, eBay charges 10% for the fees on this, but even after that, we're looking at about $130 profit just on one phone, right? So then we move on to the next one here. We have an HP gaming laptop. We sold that for almost 600 bucks, $599.95, and we paid $360. So even after the eBay fees, we're looking at like a $200 profit on that. All right. Now, not every item we're going to make $150, $200 profit on. Sometimes some people starting off in this might not have a lot of cash to get started. So if you're one of the people that's watching this and you're working a job, you don't have a big cash pool. Here's a phone right here. We only paid 10 bucks for it, and we sold for 65. So no matter where you're at, I'm going to show you how you can do this with very little money. I've had people that have started this with less than $100 and done over $10,000 a month before, within a short amount of time. So I'm going to break it all down for you in this training. I'm not holding everything back. Ty asked me to give you the best information I possibly can during this training here. So I'm going to give you all the secrets, tell you everything as we go. Okay. So just a little bit more about myself, how I started, because I think it's important to share how I begin. I've done really well for myself now. I've got a big social media presence in 3 stores and sold quite a bit on eBay now. But 6 years ago I was bankrupt. I'd gone bankrupt actually for the second time at only 30 years old. I had failed in 3 businesses previously, and the market crash killed me. We had moved into a room in my mother's basement, just my wife, my daughter, and me. And things were tough. I was working as a carpet cleaner, making a lousy $300 a week, and we barely got by. We were eating spaghetti every single night to get by. And I remember I wanted to start a business again on the side. Even though I had failed, I've been reading a lot of books, and one of the reasons why I like Ty is because he had books. I used to read a book every single day, and that kind of motivated me. But anyways, I was ready to start another business, so we used to go to yard sales every weekend, and we would try to find stuff that we could flip on eBay, reading all these eBay books, right? And we tried out all these knickknacks. We tried different things, some antiques. None of that stuff really worked that well. But it happened one day. I was frustrated because I couldn't find anything. I kept finding these items and I was losing money on them, selling them on eBay. And we didn't have a lot of money to lose at the time. But it was our wedding anniversary. It was in July. And there was a nice purse at one of the yard sales. It was a Coach purse. Now, Coach isn't as popular as it was back then. I know it's Michael Kors now, but she liked it and it was really nice, so I got it for her. It was only 30 bucks at the yard sale, all right? But then after that, we had gone home and I saw on eBay that purse I bought for $30 was selling for $250 on eBay. And this is where I had my first kind of aha moment with this business, because I thought, well, wait a minute, what if I can find these other things that are high-end goods like this to flip and buy them low? Now, I didn't sell her purse, so don't worry about that. But the next week, we went out actually to more yard sales, and we were looking just for designer purses at this point. And this is where it all began. That first day we started doing this, I found 4 purses, and I made $200 profit that day. And I was only making $300 a week at the time, so this is where it got really exciting for me. The next week, we went out. I got up really early in the morning. We got up at 6:30, planned a whole list of yard sales. We made $400 profit in a day. And this started really taking off. Every weekend we were going out. I was making $400 or $500 a weekend for the next couple months. Now you're probably wondering, how does this lead into phones? Well, what happened was, I get tired of the yard sales. I realized it was a lot of work. So what I did was, we used to put ads on Craigslist because we were so broke that we wanted to plant a garden before, and we didn't have the money to even put plants in the garden. So we had put up a Craigslist ad asking people for free plants because we couldn't even afford the plants. And we had some really, affluent people in the area that had said, oh yeah, come on over, we can give you some of our plants. And we built this beautiful garden by placing ads on Craigslist looking for free plants. So I put like 2 and 2 together. Well, I got these purse things and I got the plant thing. What if I put out ads looking for designer purses? I wonder if people would call me. So I started putting out ads saying, I'll buy your designer purses, looking to buy used or damaged purses. And people were just calling me by the bundle every day. And it was crazy. My first week, I think we bought like $1,000 worth of purses. And I made more than I had ever made even working in a month doing the carpet cleaning. And I got really good at this. I got up to about $5,000 or $6,000 a month on eBay in 2 months. And then I thought, well, purses, sometimes people get a little emotional with the purses. I'm like, what's another high ticket item that I could flip like this that people want to get rid of? And then it clicked, phones. Phones are high dollar volume items. There's big profits in there, and when people want to get rid of a phone, they don't care about it, so they're willing to sell it cheap. And that's where I put 2 and 2 together, and I realized that flipping phones is going to be profitable. And my first month flipping phones, I hit $20,000. So that's where things took off. In my first 8 months on eBay, I did $250,000 in sales, $290 in sales, just working off this couch in my mother's basement. If you could see the screen right there, there's the couch. It's a total mess. You could see I shipped probably 2,000 phones off that couch and did over $500,000, almost $500,000 in sales off that couch till we made enough money and we moved out. We have a beautiful place now. But this is my PayPal 1099 from 2012. As you can see, in case you're wondering whether the story is true or not, there's where I started, was March. My first month with the purses was $4,000, and then it grew, as you can see, and we did over $249,000. So I want to show you everything, how I did it today. I want to show you how I place the ads, how I buy the stuff, how I negotiate. And I want to first off talk about why is phone flipping good? Why do I think this business is great? Because I think this is fantastic. If you're making over $100,000 a year, this might not be for you. But if you're not making $100,000 a year right now, you're working a job, you hate your job, or you're looking for a good startup business to get started, this is perfect because there's very high profit margins. And for most successful business people I've talked to, including Ty, high profit margins is the type of business that you want to get into. It's a great first business to gain experience without a ton of risk, right? So I'm going to show you how to figure out what the phones are worth and what to buy them for. So as long as you follow the rules, it's very difficult to lose money, or at least not lose a lot of money. You're not going to put yourself at risk, you're signing a lease or anything crazy like that, right? And it's all free to get started. The eBay account is free. All the post of the ads is free. Everything is not very, very low startup costs. Okay. So the cool thing also, this is be done part time. Most of my students, I've had over 47 students do over $10,000 a month in just the last 2 years, and a lot of them work a full time job. Some work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and they're doing this 5-10 hours a week on the side. So it's a very part-time. You can get started while you're working a job. And the cool part is, if you ever want to build a business, it's a great stepping stone because you're going to learn valuable skills such as sales, negotiation, customer service, and things of that nature, okay? So just really quick, here's some of my students here. I have a YouTube channel, as I mentioned, and it's kind of like an ongoing show. So whenever one of my students does over $10,000 a month, they get kind of publicly recognized. We call them a phone flipping superstar. So a lot of these guys, they don't have stores like me. They're just working on a house, just like I started, right on my mother's basement. They didn't have a lot. Most of these guys started off with less than $500 in their pocket. Most of them have jobs, and they didn't have any experience running a business. So this is something that anybody can do. Okay, so here's what we're going to learn today. So I'm going to show you exactly where to place the ads and how to place the ads. All right. I'm going to show you how to determine what the phones are worth and then how to make offers on the phones. And then I'm going to show you how to avoid common pitfalls because, phones and electronics, if you ever heard anything about eBay, I'm sure there's a lot of working parts to phones, so you want to make sure you inspect it properly and you're careful, okay? And how to list the phone on eBay because, we want to make sure we sell it after we buy it, right? So most of my stuff, we just listed like $9,000 worth of stuff this Monday, and we had probably 6,000 of it sold by Wednesday. It sells very, very quickly, so I'll show you how to do that as well, okay? All right, so placing your first ads. Here's how it all gets started, right? So you're going to place ads in places like Craigslist and Facebook groups, classified sites that say cash for phones or I pay cash for phones, looking to buy cash for phones. I'll show you some examples in a second here, okay? So when you're at Craigslist, you want to post in these sections. I've highlighted them here with the arrows. So you want to post in the wanted section, the cell phone section, financial services, and the cell phone mobile services section, and local community news. These are the appropriate places where you're going to want to place your Craigslist ads. All right. Now, Craigslist is absolutely free. You go there, just put your email address, and you can sign up for an account. Okay. So there's no cost to doing this. And if you look in the upper right here, there's an example of some of the ads that I have laid out and the sections that I have the ads posted in. Okay. Now, another place that we're going to post ads is Facebook groups. In your local area, if you go to Facebook, under groups, or if you just go to the Facebook search bar and you type in the name of your city and you type in resale, yard sale, buy, sell, trade, any of that nature, you're going to find groups in your area of people that are like kind of trading, buying and selling. Here's one right here called RI Resale. I live in Warwick, Rhode Island, so that's where I'm from. Rhode Island's a small state, so I post ads in all of the state because you can drive across Rhode Island in a half hour. So, you know, we just keep it local like that. But, you know, this group right here has 37,000 people. So I'm going to post an ad in there saying cash for phones, electronics. All right. And these people, they're going to see this, they're going to call us, and they're going to want to sell us a phone. A couple things. Craigslist now, most of these places are free. Depending on the city you're in, quick disclaimer, Craigslist does charge for a couple of sections, but it's very cheap. Like financial services is only $5 to place an ad, and wanted by dealer is $3. But you don't need to pay in order to get calls. Okay, I have a student in my course, one of my top students named Aaron. He's done over $40,000 in a month. He doesn't pay for one Craigslist ad. So you can do it if you want. I do because I'm not afraid. I don't mind spending $5 if it's going to get me a few phones and make $100, $200 on it. It's worth it. But if you don't have a lot of cash, you can post plenty of ads for free. There's many sections you can do that. Okay. So next, here's some of the ads. So here's a Craigslist ad. If you look here, it's I buy Apple iPads and iPhones. Use Cracked or Broken. All right. You want to have some kind of good headline. You don't want anything that looks kind of like desperate or salesy. You don't want like I buy phones, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. You want to just keep it nice and basic. And same thing, nice and professional, short and sweet is the key when you do your ad. So we'll say something like I pay cash for iPads and iPhones. Use Cracked or Broken phones are okay. I'll put the carriers. And then now ours says call or come in for a free quote. This is an example of my ad because I have a store. But what you would do for you is you would just say I can pick up or come to you, and you'd put your phone number there. So you would say I pay cash for phones, any condition, I come pick up your phone, or I can travel to you, put your phone number. Really simple, okay? Any variation of this should work as long as you don't get crazy and you don't sound like salesy when you're doing this, all right? So why does this work so well? The reason why placing ads work is this. See, what the mistake most people do is they'll go on Craigslist, a lot of eBay sellers, and they'll look for stuff to buy, and they'll try calling other people's ads, and they'll try negotiating the price down on those ads. But here's the problem is that everybody else is calling those same ads. So when if someone else has a phone posted on Craigslist and other people are calling them, you're going to have to battle against all these other offers. But the cool part with this is when you place an ad, they call you, nobody else is competing. So if they like your offer, you buy the phone. Nice and simple, okay? So most people are doing it the wrong way, and this is why this method works so well, because we're getting them to come to us, and there's no competition, all right? And it's also so much less work. I remember going to yard sales. It was hours and hours of traveling, hunting, scouring to find the deals, calling people on Craigslist. That's not what we want to do. There's one of my first millionaire mentors is my cousin, who's done really well for himself, and at 15 years old, I remember him saying to me, I asked him, what's the key to being successful in business? He had just bought a big house and was driving I think a Jaguar at the time. And he said to me, the key to making money in business, Dave, is to work less and make more. And I'm like, it's that simple. Yeah, he said, work less and make more. That always stuck with me. So I like this model because it's work less, make more, right? Okay, so if we look here on the right, this is going to be a Facebook group post. So this one says, get cash for your unwanted electronics. And then we're putting what we have there. You don't need to copy exactly what we have, and you don't want to copy that because other people will copy it, and there's a chance that Craigslist could flag your ad, we'll get into that later on. But any version of I buy phones, looking to buy phones, cash for phones, just something that simple is okay. All right, just throw your phone number in there, and then people will message you and text you. All right, so you want to put out more than one of these ads. A few tips on placing ads here. Okay, I already told you, keep them short, professional, avoid exclamation points, avoid copying other people's ads on Craigslist. Again, if you just take all the ads that you see in any of these free videos or training that I do, try to change them up a little bit because a lot of other people will be doing that, and Craigslist will think it's the same guy posting all over Craigslist. So they'll, even though you're not a spammer, they'll think you will be because you're just copying the same ad. So try to change them up just a little. You want to post multiple ads in order to get more calls. So if you just post one ad on Craigslist or one ad in a Facebook group, it's probably not going to give you the kind of results that you want. You may not get a lot of calls or maybe slow. So you want to post multiple ads. You want to post, some of my top students post over 50 ads on Craigslist. Most of my phone flipping superstars, the 10,000 a month students. So you want to try to do that. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but you'll build up to it. I say when you start this off, post 2 or 3 ads a day to get started. Post them in different sections and post in Facebook groups probably 1 or 2 times a day. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it and the more calls. The more calls that you get, the more chances to buy phones and make money that you're going to get. Okay. Change up your ads a little bit too. You can just do text-only ads with no picture, or you could do ads with a picture and text, make them look a little bit different. Believe it or not, sometimes the ugliest stuff works the best. So just something like, I'm a local reseller, I buy phones, and please call me, I'll pick up your phone. Believe it or not, some of those are get us the most calls. So, okay, so here's the 5-step process to actually buying the phones, all right? So now you have the ads up, and you should be getting some calls in. Once you do this. All right, so step 1 is we got to appraise the phone. We do what's called an appraisal to see what this is going to sell for on eBay. So if we have, we get a phone here we're going to buy, I'm going to look this up on eBay and see how much is this phone worth. Okay, it's worth $200. I know what I can pay for it now. Step 2, we're going to make an offer where you can make a 40 to 60% profit margin. That's our goal. 40 or 60% is the average across most of my students and myself. Step 3, we're going to meet with them. We're going to pick up the phone, right? So we're going to go get them in a local setting, and then we're going to inspect the phone, make sure it's legitimate. Whatever they're selling us is, it's what they told us, and we're going to make money on it and not get burned. And then number 5, very important, is we're going to have them sign a bill of sale and get a driver's license. Okay, so one thing, quick disclaimer again, in the resale business, we can't avoid it. Any pawn shops, things of that nature, occasionally you're going to run across stolen items. So we want to do what my accountant calls CYA. I'm sure you can figure out what that means, right? I don't know if I can say it on camera, but basically that means you want to protect yourself. If someone sells you a stolen item, we want to have that bill of sale and a driver's license so we don't get in trouble. So that's an important part of this. Okay, so step 1, appraising. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go to ebay.com and we're going to figure out how much the phone is going to sell for, right? Because that's the first step. If we know what we're going to get for the phone, we can be confident in our offer. Now, eBay's free to sign up, so you can just go to ebay.com. If you don't already have an eBay account, it doesn't cost you anything. You fill out a quick form and boom, you're good to go on eBay. Okay, so that's the first step, is just go sign up, get yourself an eBay account. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to go to the search bar. Now, if you go to ebay.com and at the top I've got the picture here, we're going to type in whatever item we're going to appraise. We're going to do a search for that to see what are those items selling for on eBay. So in this situation here, I put an iPhone 8 Verizon smartphone. All right, so in this search, you type iPhone 8 Verizon smartphone, and on the bottom left here, where it says sold items, I put the red arrow there to click. You want to make sure you check sold items. So it's very important when we're doing an appraisal. We want to go by what the market is actually paying for the phones, not what people are asking for the phones. All right, so because anybody can list that phone for $500 to $1,000, doesn't mean people are actually going to pay that. So we want to make sure that we look at what they actually sold for, so we know the actual market value. All right. All right, so what we're going to do once we do that is we've got to search through now the listings. You're going to scroll down. You're going to see all these different phones that are selling on eBay that under that search description, the iPhone 8. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a used phone. You want to make sure it's used. There's going to be a lot of new stuff that pops up. We don't want to use the new. We want to use used. Okay, so you go to sold, used, and then you're going to make sure you're doing an apples to apples comparison. Now this is very important. Okay, when we're appraising, we want to make sure whatever we're going to buy is exactly like what we appraised at. So for example, if this was a cracked phone, I couldn't use a good condition phone in order to use that value, because then I would overpay. And that's what we want to be careful. The thing that most people will go wrong when they're appraising is that they accidentally overpay because they made a mistake during the appraisal process. So what you're going to do is find 3 items. If you find 3 items, you're generally safe. You should see them within a very short margin. An appraisal, they say, is more of an opinion more than an exact science, right? But one should be 500, the other should be like 515, another one should be like 485, 490. You'll see that they're generally around the same mark. And then based on the 3 comparables, you can determine a price that you feel confident that you're going to get for it. Okay? I typically try to err on the lower side of the value just to kind of cushion myself a little bit, but don't go too low, because you don't want to lowball the person and then they get upset and you lose the deal, right? Because we still want to make a good profit on these. So you're going to find the average. So in this situation, it looks like this phone, I feel really confident to say that this phone will sell for at least $500 to $510. Okay? That would be my appraisal based on what you see here. Okay, so common pitfalls, like I mentioned already, make sure that you appraise its exact apples to apples comparison. Remember, that's the key, apples to apples comparison, all right? What I like is also don't look at the ones with the stock photos. Look at the ones that look just like, someone took a phone, threw it on their desk and took a picture. That's what you want. Look out for sneaky words, because like an iPhone 8 is going to be different than an 8 Plus. They're completely different phones. An iPhone 8 is less expensive than an 8 Plus, but sometimes people will overlook that one little plus symbol or the plus mark, and you'll see the value higher on that, so they'll think it's an iPhone 8. Just don't make that mistake. Be careful with that stuff. And same thing with the gigabytes in the phone. I always just appraise at the lowest gigabytes, so I'll always appraise as the base model and make my offers off of that. All right? Again, you want to look at just the used items only for that. All right, determining your offer. So now we know what it's going to sell for. It's time to make an offer to them. All right, so they're going to call you up on the phone and they're going to say, hi, I saw your ad on Craigslist. I'm looking to sell my phone. You're going to go ahead and do your appraisal, right? And then you're going to make an offer to them. Now, remember, when we sell something on eBay, just so you know, eBay takes 10% of whatever we sell it for. Okay, so just for, I don't even remember what type of phone. I think it's a Galaxy 8 Plus Edge or whatever. But let's just say this phone is worth $300, right? And if I sell this on eBay, eBay is going to charge me $30 to sell this phone, right? So we got to take that right off the top when we're evaluating how much to offer. And usually most phones I ship first class, they only cost about $2.50 to ship, but we're going to put $5 as a margin in there just to kind of pad it, right? So let's say this phone was $300. It's going to cost me $30 to sell on eBay. Remember, eBay takes 10% as a selling fee for letting us use the platform, and $5. So that means our net on this would be $265. All right. So if we are going to buy that phone, we want to make between $100 to $130 usually on that type of price range. So what would we offer? Probably about $150. You know, $150 leaves me a nice $115 profit margin. Between $150 to $180 is what I would pay for a $300 phone. Okay. Now I could break that down a little bit more. I don't have the time in the training to give you the exact, but I give you a quick little price guide right here for you that will help you out. So phones that are going to sell for about $100, want to pay about $30 to $40. What you don't want to do is pay like $60 for a $100 phone. Sometimes people make the mistake thinking, well, Dave, I'm still going to make a $20 profit, but here's the problem. Things go wrong sometimes. There's going to be an eBay return. Sometimes there might be some unexpected stuff no matter how much you inspect the phone. And you want to have that padding just in case there is a problem with it, right? And plus, you don't want to do a bunch of work for a little money, okay? Don't be afraid to offer these margins. Sometimes people are nervous offering low. Don't be afraid. Just make the offer. We buy tons of phones at these prices right here. You need a good cushion so that way it protects you. That way, if something goes wrong, you never lose. So I'm not a big gambling guy, right? One of my principles I tell my employees is don't ever gamble with my money. So we don't gamble. We don't take a shot going, oh, I hope it's going to be good. Or some people buy a phone thinking they're going to fix it up. We don't do that. We just buy knowing for sure that we're going to either, even worst case scenario, we'll break even on it. So if it's a $200 phone, about $100 margin, usually 100, 110, maybe even 120. If it's a $400 phone, pay about $250. Again, I could go into details, but we only have so much time here for the training today. Here's some of the examples of phones that we actually purchased just recently and what we paid here. So here's an iPhone 6. We paid $30 for it, and we sold it for $99.95. So right along that margin there. Here's a phone we sold for, we actually bought two. These are two phones that we sold. Someone bought as a bundle for $600, so they were actually like $300 a piece. So we paid $140 for each of the $300 phones. So we paid $280 for the two of them. We sold them for $600. So decent profit margin there. Here's another one here, a Galaxy J7. We only paid $20 for that. We sold it for $85. And then the last one here, an iPhone 7, we paid $240 and we sold it for about $380, which is right in line with that. So to show you some of the profits that we're making on these things. All right, so now you agree to the price. So they're like, yeah, I'm ready to do it. I'm happy to take the offer. Okay, so you're going to say, you know, can we meet at the local McDonald's? So what I used to do is I used to meet people at a Wendy's parking lot that was like 5 minutes from my house. All right. So again, work less, make more. You don't want to be traveling all over the place picking up phones. That's not the purpose of this business. The purpose of this business, again, to work less, make more. So try to get them to come close to you if you can. And even if I have to, I'll offer them an extra $5 to come to me because my time is money. So it's going to save me time if I get them to come to me. So when you agree to it, set up a meeting place. Try to meet in a public place, okay? You want to be safe, of course, that's important. So I avoid having them come to your house or going to their house if you can. I did it plenty of times myself, but for the most part, try to be safe. You can meet in a public place. And just, so they don't blow you off, just confirm. Make sure you get their cell phone number. Say, hey, is this a good number to call you? I'm going to be there in about 10 minutes. Are you sure you're going to be there? To make sure that you don't waste your time at all. All right, then we're going to inspect the phone. All right, so this is an important part. You don't want to rush because, again, the money is made when we buy, not when we sell, right? I know it's going to sell on eBay. Oh, my stuff sells usually in 1 or 2 or 3 days. I know it's going to sell. So if I just buy it right, I know that's when I'm making my profit. So when I get this phone, I want to make sure that this is what they told me it is, and I appraised it properly. So let's say I look at their phone, and then there's a big crack on it. And I say, "Oh, you said it was good condition." "Oh, it is good condition except for the crack." "Oh, well, wait a minute." Then we got to renegotiate. So then you're going to do an appraisal based on what you see there. So then you would type in like iPhone 8, Verizon smartphone, cracked, and then renegotiate a value based off of that. All right. Never take their word for it. They're going to tell you all kinds of stories when they sell your phone. Sellers are liars. And even the most honest, nice, innocent-looking people have tried to burn me. So don't ever take their word. Just always look at the phone yourself. Okay, so you're looking for cracks. I always like to test like the buttons, the power button, make sure that works. And I usually will take, an iPhone charger and an Android charger in my car, because those are the two most popular model phones. And I'll just plug it in the charger, make sure the charge port works. All right, so a quick inspection there. First off, what kind of conditions do we buy? So cracked phones are perfectly okay. You might be wondering, Dave, well, what do we do with cracked phones? I don't know how to repair phones. You know how to repair phones, but I don't. It's okay. I never repair any phones that we flip. We buy them as is and we flip them as is. I do own cell phone repair stores, but we're only repairing for customers that are looking for iPhone repairs. We're not repairing the phones we flip. It's a completely separate business, okay? So you don't need to know how to do it. And crack, damage, and no power phones are some of the most profitable. That's why 50% of the phones that we buy have some kind of damage, because most people at that point, they just want to get rid of the phone and they want to get a new one. So there's no emotional attachment. They just want to get rid of it, right? So like here's an example, an iPhone 7 Plus right here. We sold that in one day for $270 on eBay, $269.95, and we only paid 120 bucks for it. It sold cracked. Believe it or not, there are people on eBay looking to buy cracked, damaged, no power phones. I don't know what they do with them, and honestly, I don't really care that much. I just know that they buy them. So that's all we need to know, right? Okay, so next. And we're going to look it over, make sure it doesn't have any crack. And then each phone has a unique identification number. It's called an ESN, electronic serial number. You don't really need to know that stuff, but there's a thing called the IMEI, which is the identifier of the phone. So if you go into the settings of the phone, about, okay, and if you're not sure how to do this, you just go on YouTube and then just type in how to find IMEI iPhone, how to find IMEI Galaxy. And there's 1,000 new tutorials on that. It takes you 2 minutes, right? So you go to the settings of the phone. And it's like here's an example of it right there where it says device ID. We're going to go to a site called sickw.com, and we're going to just check on this site to see if the phone is been reported stolen or has what's called a bad ESN. All right. So sometimes if phones, they can be financed and things of that nature through carriers. So what will happen is someone doesn't make the payment, they will block that phone from usage, okay? So you want to make sure when you buy this phone that it's either paid off, or if it is financed, you're buying it for parts, okay? Which is okay, you can buy those. We buy them for parts all the time and we flip them. You're going to sell them on eBay as what's called a bad ESN. So whoever buys it knows they're not going to be able to activate it, all right? Again, the money is in the crack, damage, or power, the issues with the phone. So those are perfectly okay, but you just need to know that when you're buying it, you can adjust your appraisal value, all right? Then there's another thing called the Find My iPhone app on phones. Now, I'm giving you a lot of information here. Again, I wish I could have a little more time to kind of go into this, but I'll try to give you what I can at the moment. What you want to do is just, go on YouTube and search Find My iPhone if you don't know about that app. What it is, it's a theft deterrent device that Apple created to put on iPhones so that if someone steals a phone, that their Apple password is still logged in and the phone can be tracked, all right? So before we buy any phones, a few other phones have these type of devices on them now, we're always gonna make sure we erase everything on the phone before buying. That way we know nobody's information is still on it, there's no passwords, it's clean, and we buy them like that, okay? So always, before you give someone the money, make sure you restore the phone so that way you don't get burned. Because what happens is if you don't remove that app and you don't restore it, you'll go home and then it'll have someone's information still on the phone and the phone won't let you use it. You won't be able to get through the activation process because it'll say, please type your password to continue, okay? So make sure you always restore the phone. And if they say they don't know the password, don't buy the phone because it's probably not their phone. So just be wary of that stuff. All right. So step 5, last step, once we inspect it, we're like, okay, this is a good deal, I'm going to make good profit. You checked it out, you erased the phone. Now we're going to have them sign this bill of sale. I have a bill of sale that I paid my attorney $1,000 for to come up with all this technical stuff to make sure, once I ran an established business, I had to protect myself. You can go online, just get a free bill of sale template. There's a million of them out there. All you need to do is make sure you write down the serial number of whatever item you're buying, the IMEI or the serial number, and then you're going to ask for their driver's license info, okay? If they don't give you their driver's license, we don't buy the phone, plain and simple, because we need to, if there's any issues with the phone and these people are doing anything shady, if anybody questions, we want to have their information that we can say, hey, this is the guy that sold me the phone, okay? So you want to do your due diligence. If they say they don't have a driver's license or they're not willing to give it up, I turn the deal down because it's not really a deal. They might be selling you a phone that doesn't belong to them. So very important, whenever we buy anything, just have them fill out that bill of sale. I write down all their driver's license, their address, the driver's license number, and I have them sign the paper, and then I sign it as well. Okay, and that's it. Once you do that, the phone is good. You're going to give them the cash. Boom, and you bought your first phone, okay? That's basically the process there. It's pretty simple once you actually go through it. The hardest part is getting that first phone in and then selling it. And once you do it once, you can do it plenty of times. You know, it's the first flip is always the difficult one. So now we got this phone, right? What are we gonna do with it? We've got to sell it. We're gonna put it on eBay. And eBay is really simple. So what you're gonna do is just basically take a picture of the front and back of the phone. That's it, and I'll show you my eBay listing here in a second. If there's any significant damage, you might want to take a picture, like a close-up if it, you know, has a button hanging off or something like that. Just take a little close-up picture of that. Matter of fact, let me just skip to the next slide so I can show you some of the things. We're always going to do buy it now, by the way. We don't do auction style on eBay. Buy it now I found is the most effective way to sell an item quickly and get the price that we want. If you put it up auction style, if you're not familiar with eBay, what it does is the people bid on your item and you have to wait 3 or 5 days for the auction to close, and then it sells at a final price. The problem is sometimes you have people not paying you and things like that. It's a hassle. So do buy it now only, and then when you go to list it, there's going to be a little setting that says require immediate payment. So you're going to check that. That way they can't buy their item unless they pay. You're going to put a nice clean title up there. As you can see, here's how we listed this iPhone 6s Plus for Verizon. Front and back picture, nice and simple. Don't go crazy. You're not going to be a professional photographer with this. Slap it on a table, take a picture of the back. That's it. People know a phone is a phone. They're not too picky. That's the cool part about phones and electronics. With the purses, we had to take all these cool shots and stuff like that. We don't have to worry about phones and electronics. People know an iPhone is an iPhone, right? When you go down to the description part, this is very cookie cutter. eBay is going to walk you through this. So if you're intimidated, don't be. It's very simple. You just kind of fill out one thing at a time. It's really easy. And you could just say something like the phone is in good condition, it works fine, or the phone is cracked, but the screen works. Give a brief description of it. Try not to oversell. Don't be like, oh, this phone is absolutely mint except for the crack, because that's going to lead to bad feedback and bad customer service and returns. You know, always try to undersell a little bit. Even if the phone's in good condition, I'll probably say something like, you know, the phone has some light scratches, just to cover myself in case, you know, they want to be picky or whatever. But that's it. You know, just describe the item, and then you're going to list it on eBay. And as long as you accurately price the item, it should sell very quickly. Some common problems that people have is their item is not selling or something like that. All it is drop the price. What I'll do is I'll list my items. And again, the money is made when you buy, not when you sell, remember, right? So I have enough profit margins, I could drop them $5 a day to my item sells, and I don't really care. I don't even look at what I paid. I just kind of drop it because I already know the margins are there. And it just will sell quickly, all right? You know, sometimes people ask me about competition in this business because there's a lot of people doing this now. I've taught hundreds of people. There's thousands of people watching my YouTube videos. I get over 500,000 minutes watched per month on my channel. So, you know, people say, oh, I see all these ads on Craigslist already. I see ads in Facebook groups. There's too many people doing this already. There are, and you know what, we're still doing over $25,000 a month right now on eBay. So the competition doesn't matter. I've been teaching people now for the last 2 years, and the students I have now are only getting better and better sales, not less. So don't worry about the market being saturated. There's an old saying that they say, losers focus on winners and winners focus on themselves, right? So don't focus on the competition. Just focus on posting good ads and getting good with your appraisals and your negotiation skills. That's all you need for this, and you'll do okay, okay? There's thousands of people doing this, copying me right in my area. Tons of my friends and family have seen me do this, and they all want to do this. And it's okay. I'm cool with that because we're still killing it. We're still doing plenty of sales, all right? Population doesn't matter. I had a kid that lived in a population in Wisconsin with only 13,000 people, and he ended up doing over $30,000 a month on eBay. His best month ever was $50,000. So the population it's okay. You know, as long as you know what you're doing, you'll be all right with this. So how to start with a little money, right? If you don't have a lot of money to get started, what you're going to do is start with the low price phones. You could start with like an iPhone 6. You know, we bought that for 30, flipped it for 100. I started with only $300 in my pocket when I did this. You know, I only had 100, and then I begged my mom to see if I could sell some stuff in the garage to get a little extra cash, and I saved up 300. But you know, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't even need the $300. I would start buying like 3 phones for 30, flip them for 100, and boom, now I've got $300 in my pocket. All right, so you can build up very, very quickly. I had a kid named Aaron in my program, started with $50. He was working at T-Mobile, only making $11 an hour. And then within 4 months, he had over $30,000 in his bank account, starting with $50. Now, again, quick disclaimer, I'm not going to promise this is going to happen to you, okay? These are extreme results, and these guys are just really took it seriously and worked really hard, to do this. Not everybody's going to get those same, but just to show you this, this is possible and it's been done. So what you're going to do again, cherry pick the deals, pick the low ones, and build your cash pool up. So here's a phone we bought for only $3. So even if you have $20 to your name, doesn't matter, because look at this. We paid $3 for this phone and it sold for $69.95. So you got no excuses. If you're looking to start a business on the side, this is it right here. You can start with very little money and build your cash pool up very quickly. All right. So a couple things that you might run into when you're doing this, okay? It's not all, and not every business is sunshine and rainbows. Everything has its downside. So when you're posting ads, sometimes you might get flagged by the Craigslist engine because people are putting up ads, and if you just try to spam Craigslist with ads, they're probably going to flag them. So you have to do it in a certain way and post ads effectively so that they're doesn't irritate people on the Craigslist platform, and Craigslist is happy with that. So that's that's a little struggle that you'll work on. People not taking your offers. Not everybody's going to want to sell you their phone at half price or 40%. So sometimes you got to learn a little negotiation skills in order to get them down and make sure they're happy. All right. Sometimes there could be unexpected problems with phones that arise, like maybe it's overheating and things like that. I like to not just talk always about the good. I want to give you the bad too, so you know what you're running into and what you can avoid. I already told you about the eBay listings not selling, how to handle that, and the eBay returns. Sometimes people struggle with that because people return a phone and things of that nature. I'd love to. I could spend hours and hours just teaching you guys how to do this and grow, but unfortunately we only have a limited amount of time. All right. So congratulations, you know how to sell these phones and flip them on eBay and get the phones. Now, if you want to avoid some of these pitfalls and you want to just get a jump start, you want to get going, as you know, especially with Ty, having a mentor is a crucial part of succeeding in business. And if you're interested at all in working with me as a mentor, I have a program where now I've mentored almost 800 students, getting close there actually, on how to flip phones on eBay. As I showed you, we have over 47 of the students have done over 10,000 a month on eBay. Some have done 10, 20, 30, 40,000 of my private students. Now, you don't have to work in this program here. You can try it out, get started, get a little taste of it and see how you like it. But if you're just like, you know what, Dave, I'm ready to do this. Let me tell you a little bit about the program here in case that you are interested in working with me a little bit more directly. I remember when I signed up with Ty, I was nervous because it was a big thing to join a program like that and get started. But Ty has helped me out tremendously. Here I am at his house, doing this training. It's pretty cool, and a lot of that is due to the mentorship. I think it's important. So what you're going to get here. So what I did in this program is I've created a series of videos that are very detailed. So the course is laid out in 7 different sections. Each section is like placing ads, negotiating, appraising, all the basic stuff. I've just got, good, solid, detailed videos to train you on every step of the way, so that way you become a master at each, right? And we have a private Facebook group you saw there. I just flashed a screen a little while ago. Some of my students that have taken the program called the eBay Phone Selling Course Members Only group, where in this Facebook group, I'm going to connect you with the people. One thing I learned a while back, right after I go on bankrupt, is, the people that you hang around with play a big part of your life. Jim Rohn says you're going to become the average of the closest 5 people that you hang around, So I like to take people and put them in a group of winners around my guys that are doing 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a month. And it's crazy that, I had one guy who didn't even watch the videos once. Now, I don't recommend that, but he didn't even have a car. He didn't even watch the videos, but just being in the group, asking questions and participating, got him to 10,000 a month in only his first 3 months after joining the program. His name was Lewis. So that you get access to that private Facebook group. We also do a weekly 1-hour coaching call. So not only are you going to just get the videos, right? Because I think videos are great in any training program, but I think you need a little accountability as well. So every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, at the time of filming this, for 1 hour, we do real detailed training and break down different topics each week. So like, for example, last week we just went over Craigslist ads and how to write killer ads that get the phone ringing off the hook. That's the key. I've been writing ad copy now in different businesses for over 20 years, so I'm able to write ads that get phone calls, which is important. So we go over topics like that. We also do role playing on negotiating, and I'll do like live eBay listings to show people that stuff. All right. So you got the private Facebook group, the weekly 1-hour coaching calls, nice 7-section instructional videos. Also, you're going to get that bill of sale template, like I said, that I paid my attorney $1,000 for to protect yourself. You get a nice template you can just fill in your own information and use for yourself, so that way you don't have to go find a general one online. Okay, so. If you're wondering about getting started in this business, the Most successful students I have mostly live in the United States. I've had a few students that have done over 10,000 a month in Canada, and I had a few successful students in UK. Okay, so this is primarily mostly for US students, Canada or UK. If you're living in like India right now, I don't have anything against India, but this might not be for you because I don't know if eBay is effective. There's different regulations and stuff like that in those countries. So this is mostly for USA, Canada, or UK, in case you're in a different country wondering about that. All right, this is for people that want to make a full-time living working part-time hours. So if you're looking to build some cash up on the side, if you're looking to, save college for your kids, or if you just want to start your own business and get started, like I said, this is a great business for you to get into, all right? This is for people who never owned a business, or if you're like me, I failed in multiple businesses, but want to get into a good cookie cutter business where you're just taking Ty calls it a business in a box, right? And you're just going to copy it. You just steal my method and you just use that, And I'm cool with that. Now, a lot of students have done that, stole my method, and they're doing 10,000 a month now, okay? And even for people that aren't savvy with technology, I got a girl named Lillian in my program. I think she's in her high 50s. Sorry, Lillian, if I'm telling everybody that. But, she started my program not too long ago, and she's doing $7,000 to $8,000 a month on eBay, and she's a retired woman that lives in Florida. She left a job that she was making 6 figures a year, wanted a way to just make some extra cash, and she's doing $8,000 a month now as a retired woman. She was terrible with technology at first, and now she's doing great. So I had over... As I told you before, 47 students that have become phone flipping superstars. If you want to check them out, you just go to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/winitlife with Dave, and you'll see, the stories. It's kind of neat to hear like how they started and their struggles and things like that. So we kind of have like an ongoing show. You can check them out if you want. All right. Again, quick disclaimer: I'm not saying that you're going to get any of these results yourself. So I can't promise you that. I know that there's no get rich quick thing in life. You got to put the work in. You got to put your time in. So just showing you what's possible. All right, so again, you're going to get the bill of sale template, the members only Facebook group, 40, actually, I says 40 instructional videos. Now, that was an older version, but we actually have it broken down into 7 different sections now. You're going to get those coaching calls every week, plus the replays. And I'm going to throw in a couple bonus for you guys, especially being Ty's audience. So basically, we have this thing called interviews with the phone flipping superstars, but they're private. So the ones you see on my YouTube channel are public, but then what I did was, for the top students, we had them record like some of their secrets that, maybe it's not in the program, or some of the real things that made a difference in their business. So I made like a little mini course like that, and I'll throw that in as well, so you can see what's working currently right now at this time for the top students that are doing well. And then I have like a quick reference offer guide. It's a sheet that's broken down. It shows you exactly how much to pay versus how much each phone is sold for. So it kind of takes the thinking a little bit away out of the negotiation. I'll give you that as well. And I'll give you the training manuals that I give my own employees. So it shows like how to appraise, how to negotiate, and things like that. I'll throw that in for you guys. All right? So you're going to get all that stuff there. So the program's just $9.97. If you want to sign up, you can just go ahead to flipphonesforprofit.com/course. And get started right there, all right? I do have a payment plan. I know a lot of people that are starting this don't have a ton of money, so if you want to get started, I give you full access to the program. You can do 3 payments of $350 or 2 payments of $500. So if you don't have $1,000 to get started right away, you can do that. Either way is fine with me, okay? That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, you can email me at info@flipphonesforprofit.com. Any questions at all about the training or about the program? And just really quick, I'll tell you about a couple stories of some of the students that I had here. Alan was one of the first people when I started this program 2 years ago, and he was working at a sales job 60 hours a week, and he just wanted to kind of make some money on the side. And he got started. He only had $600 to start, and I remember before he started, he asked me, if he's going to have enough money. And then his first 2 weeks, he made $2,000 he had in his bank account. And Alan did probably about $3,000 to $4,000 a month on the side for quite a while. Now he helps his parents' restaurant out, and he has a 60-hour-a-week job there. Alan didn't really want to do this full time, so he's just happy making that, $3,000 to $4,000 a month, and he's cool with that. Michelle was another one of my students when I first got started with this program. Her best month was $13,000 a month. She works a job in a marketing company. She does this on the side, works about 5-10 hours a week, and she's pretty cool with having $8,000 to $10,000 a month in sales coming in, and just does this at night, just part time. So. Josh, he was a pretty cool case. Josh, I met him actually at a mastermind, and Josh was absolutely terrible at negotiating when he first started this. He came from a military background, and he was very stern with people, and we had to do a little bit of role playing to help him out. But then he got a lot better in negotiating, and at first he was struggling a lot. I think it took him a couple months just to get his first $1,000 a month. But when we did some work with him on our coaching calls, and within 6 months he was up to $10,000 a month. And Josh had his best month actually just recently at about $23,000 for the month. So Josh is doing pretty cool. So that's pretty much it. Again, I hope you guys enjoy this training. Whether you sign up with me or not, it's okay. I'm not doing that for this. I'm doing it because Ty, means a lot to me. He's helped me a lot in life, and he asked me to do this training. I hope that it helps give you guys some value, and I hope to hear your stories. If you watch this, whether you join my program or not, I'd love to hear your success. Send me an email if you want at info@flipphoneswithprofit.com, and let me know how things worked for you. Okay, I really enjoyed my time with you guys today. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck, and hope you make some money.